everybody. So, good evening, everybody. Today's topic is chosen by Himaja. So, Himaja, would you go first? So, the topic of the day is, do deadlines stifle creativity, or do deadlines stifle creativity? So, Himaja, would you go first?
Yeah, ma'am, within 2 minutes I'll start first. Or else I'll give a chance to others, ma'am. I will start next time. Because
Okay.
I'm not busy. Once I'll see the topic once and I will start now.
Okay. Okay. Sir, yes, sir. You can. Why don't you start, sir?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is one of the interesting. Actually, all the topics that I've been observing on the GD are very interesting topics, and this is one more of those very interesting topics that is important in our working life. And I think Asha should be congratulated for making these sessions, for conducting these sessions. You see, I just will start by saying that without deadline, nothing will ever get done. We start with deadlines in school. You have to turn your homework by the next day, or you have to finish your exams by semester exams by December or January or whatever. And then, your exams in April again. So there are deadlines all the time. We can't do without deadlines. But then creativity is also important. Creativity, I would say quality of work that you do is also important. It's not that you meet the deadline with some shoddy work. You have to meet the deadlines with some good quality work, creative work. And this particular topic is about creativity. So there are a lot of fields. There are a lot of fields where deadlines, you see, for example, the most creative thing that has come out in the last few years has been artificial intelligence. Now, they work against very stiff deadlines, because if one company releases a AI facility, the other companies will have to. For example, if Android phones have got AI facility and iPhones do not have, then nobody will buy an iPhone. So there's always this race against time. And therefore, these deadlines, the most creative work also, these deadlines come in. Now, for example, the most creative thing another creative thing that we can think of is advertising. Companies have to run some campaigns and they've got to meet some sales targets. So they can't wait forever. So if you're working in an ad agency, you have to come out with a creative. In fact, they call them creatives. Ad campaigns are called creatives. You have to come out with creative before a deadline. And therefore, there's nothing like, there's not being a deadline. Okay, now I'll hand over to the participants to say initially what they feel, and then we'll discuss this issue by issue.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Himaja, can you go? Or will Harshita, will you do it?
Yes.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Harshita. It'll be nice. Yes, thank you. If your video is on. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Today, our GD topic focused on a topic called Does deadlines kill or enhance creativity? With all the experiences that I have gained till now, taught me the importance of deadlines. That's true. And there is a nice quote that states, the best thing for my creativity process is the deadlines. It's true, ma'am, because everyone has their own set of creativity. And I feel that creativity can be sharpened up by deadlines. If we set a deadline, a person who is having low level of creativity, for next time they can, with the deadlines, they can next time become little more creative. And also, I also feel that deadlines make us responsible towards our work and tasks. On the other hand, deadline also have its cons like Giving the huge amount of task and giving a small deadline makes the person exhausted and decreases their creative nature. So, for example, myself, in when I'm studying my when I was studying my second year of BTech, our HODs were instructed to think of an idea and make a prototype. We were neglecting that. We were in an enjoyable mode and we neglected that. Before the 2 days of deadline, sir has come and asked us about progress in the prototype. So we were blank and there is nothing creative coming to our minds in the last few days. So we have taken up seniors project, done some minor changes and submitted that. At that moment, we thought that for the next time we should not do. From the first day, from the first day of deadline, we have to start preparing and make it. So in third year, when hackathon happened, we make sure that from day one we are productive and consistent towards our work, and we won third prize now. And another one, Apple company. We can also tell about Apple company now. Every year, its target or deadline is to release a new iPhone with new feature. So their employees were from day one, they were consistent towards the work or towards creating new things and release on the deadline day. So I feel that deadlines are important in every aspect and they make us feel responsible and do our task correctly. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, you need to unmute.
Who's going to go next? Okay.
Ma'am, can I?
Yes, Ranj. Yes, Himaja.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, good morning to everyone. Today's GD is do deadlines destroy creativity. Yeah.
Harshit, Himaja, what happened? Okay, she went mute. Okay. Anybody will go? Ranjana, would you like to go?
Yes. Good evening.
Good evening.
If I talk about this topic, actually, I am from veterinary profession, and if I talk about regarding these deadlines, in some scenario, it is must. Like when there is a disease outbreak, so deadlines are fixed. We have to vaccinate the animals. If I talk about the COVID pandemic, when deadlines are fixed to vaccinate the human beings, so it was needed in some scenario. Only then we can get the good results. But sometimes it also hinders the creativity also. And if I want to give the example of one incident that last year I was asked to prepare a project report on broiler hatchery in Himachal from my higher officers, and they asked me to complete this project report within 1 week. So I was in a very stressed condition, and I completed the project report. I sent into the state government, then they sent into the central government, but they rejected that project report and asked to prepare it again. So because at that time the many ideas had not come to my mind, but when I got the time and after thinking so many scenarios, I have prepared the project report, and so it was sanctioned by the central government. So I think in every scenario, we can't say that deadline should be fixed.
That's very interesting. You see, deadlines are important, but at the same time, unrealistic deadlines are kill creativity.
Yes.
Unrealistic.
Because I have, yes, I have faced this situation. I have prepared this project report, and it was rejected by the central government. Then they asked me to prepare it after thorough thinking and take also the feedback from the farmers, from the end users, for which this policies or project report is going to made. So I have done the all thorough study, and I have taken the feedback from the end users, farmers also. Then I have prepared, and it was now it was I have that sanctioned project report worth rupees 2 crore 17 lakhs. So I think in every scenario it is not possible.
Yeah, I think this is an interesting point. Like I said, I'm just repeating myself, but you see, given enough time, you can do quality work. Deadline should be
Correct, sir.
reasonable. You can't say that, okay, give me a report by, hello. Yeah, give me a
Yes.
report in a week's time. And then, something that might take a long time. You have to consult farmers, you got to check out you do some research on this. And then, you can make a report. 1 week is probably too short a time. So therefore, creativity will be killed, I can tell you, if deadlines are unreasonable. And if they are reasonable, then the work will get done and the creativity also is taken care of.
Right, sir.
Yeah. Who goes next?
Hello everyone, I am Ravanya. Today my topic is about, do deadline kill or enhance creativity? Yes, I agree with this. It depends upon the person who manage it. Deadline creates a sense of urgency and focus, which makes us to become with innovative solutions by limited time. Let me share my own experience on this, do deadline kill or enhance creativity. On my last semester, I have faced without teachers explain something to learn. One subject is mobile application development. So I have prepared schedule to learn by myself, and I have prepared well by creating ChatGPT and Meta by my own notes, and I have written my exams very well, and I have managed my time to complete reading with my time limit. According to me, every person required this quality like managing time in their works. Thank you all.
Okay, that's good that you completed the task in a given time and give the examination. So it's like that. Deadlines which are realistic are actually enhance creativity. Even if creative thinking, I must say, is that requires creativity also requires thinking and certain deadlines. What I mean is, suppose somebody tells you that you have to create this advertising campaign within a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or whatever. The deadline is important. Otherwise, you won't get down to sitting down and working on it also. Therefore, deadlines actually enhance creativity as long as they're reasonable. As long as the deadline is reasonable.
Yes,
Okay.
sir, I have this, but without teachers explaining something about that subject, we only prepared ourselves to learn something about deeply in that subject. No? So that I think I want this particular time to complete it in time to manage my reading skills. So I think that.
Let me say that you make an interesting point. You see, teachers teaching, even if you follow the classes, if you attend the classes and all, it's much more effective when you learn by yourself. You go to the library, do a research on the subject, read a few articles on the subject, and therefore you will learn more than just listening to a teacher. It's just that the teacher is going to talk, and then you want to listen. That's about it. And quite a lot of it is lost in, like they say in translation. Quite a lot of it is lost. It's very good when you try to learn by yourself, research a subject, read about it, and then write a report. That's much more important. In fact, in the US, students are encouraged to do this, not just listen to a teacher and repeat whatever is being told to them.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Good. You made a good effort at learning by yourself. I'm quite sure you will retain what you have learned much longer than if you were to listen to a teacher and then write an exam at the end of it. What the teacher said, you repeat. You learn a lot more this way.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Good. Who goes
Thank you.
next? Hello. Who goes next?
Yeah, good
Yes.
morning, sir. Good morning,
I
sir.
can't
Today's group.
see you. Are you, is it the problem with me or the problem with your
No, no, sir.
device?
Her video is not on.
Acha, acha. Okay. It's good if you
Himaja,
can
go
put on the
Himaja.
video. It's easier to follow what you're saying.
Yeah. Himaja is on now, sir.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning to everyone. Today's reading is about do deadlines kill or enhance creativity? As sometimes when a certain deadline occurs to anything, it forcefully works to complete that work. So sometimes deadlines is also very important, as that because of deadline we will be very scheduled to our work and make our work very accurate, and we will complete our task. But deadline should be very reasonable. As if we don't have a deadline, we will postpone to our work. So we will postpone to our work and we will not focus to our work. So it's like deadlines is very important. But the deadline should be very reasonable, very reasonable. So making a deadline should think according to the situations, according to the persons also. As if we use some deadlines very reasonable, we will think creative and we will will do our work very effective. And I wanted to share my personal experiences when in my college the last semester we don't have a certain time, and our exams are conducted within the 2 months or 3 months itself, and we don't have a time to um, prepare well for the exams, and we can't make our output very correctly. But trying to succeed and making the output is very effective and very tactical thing. So giving a deadline very correctly means we will some period of time we will make our output very correctly, and we will give our things very fastly. Thank you, ma'am.
Good. Even for exams, for learning, etc., you need sufficient time to research the subject, understand it, and write about it. You require a certain amount of time. So always, you see, in the work life, and once you start working, and some of you may be already working, the boss gives you a deadline. Please always negotiate and make sure that you have adequate time. The boss under pressure, the client is putting pressure for the campaign to be launched. All these are there, but you must always insist on a sufficient time. Negotiate with them. What's the maximum time that you can get? What is the time, the realistic time that you can complete it in? Okay, who goes next?
Yes. Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. I'm Vaishnavi. Today's group discussion topic is about do deadlines destroy the creativity? Deadlines actually became part of our everyday life. Like from our school days, we have a deadline to complete our assignments or homeworks. And now, doing projects in a company, there are some certain deadlines. So deadlines actually keep us stay focused and help us to be more productive. And the important question is, uh, do it actually stop us from being creative? So, according to me, some people do their best work under pressure, while some feel so stressed or pressurized and they are unable to think in that certain time. So, let me say one quote: "Without deadlines, ideas remains as dreams. With them, they become reality." So, whenever we want to do some certain task, there should be some deadline or finishing point. If there is no finishing point, no one would actually start thinking, or they overthink the idea, and uh, this actually leads to procrastination, or they postpone the things, and it's like an endless plan. So setting a deadline which is realistic is more important. So I would say deadlines structure our idea, and it helps us to take action and prioritize our goals. And there are some disadvantages of deadlines, like it limits our thinking. Because of lack of time, we cannot think properly, and the quality of the product will be decreased. because people only think we need to complete the specific task at that time. So they don't focus on the quality. So we need to maintain a balance between the deadline and quality of the product by prioritizing our tasks. Thank you.
One of the things I would like to encourage you to do is to give personal anecdotes from personal experience. Like one of the ladies who came and she said she sent a report to the state government and then to the central government, and then it came back rejected. Then she remade the report. Personal experiences like this can enhance our discussion. We can learn from personal experiences. We learn from our own experiences, but we should try and learn from others' experiences also.
Yes.
Yeah, who goes next?
Nikita, Tanya. Who's going to go?
Yes, ma'am. Right. Just give me a second
Mhm.
to set up my background. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So, essentially, I do agree with Sir when he said that unrealistic backgrounds kill creativity because you tend to get so under pressure that you tend to take the safe route and you do give out conventional output. So I would say that unrealistic deadlines do like hinder uh, on your creative abilities. So I would say, yeah, deadlines do definitely hinder on creativity, like depending on of course, the time frame. But apart from that, yeah, I stand strongly on my stance.
Can you repeat your stance?
That deadlines do kill creativity when they are unrealistic. Like
Okay.
putting into account that they are unrealistic and the time that is given to complete the task is not sufficient.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
See, one of the most creative things that you can think of is writing. There was this English author, Somerset Maugham. You might have heard about him. He has written very interesting books like The Human Bondage and The Moon and Sixpence. Like I said, writing and novels is about the most creative thing. You have to really create a story. You have to create characters. You have to create a storyline. So this is the most creative thing that you can think of. But even then, he also says that the most important thing for a writer is to sit down and start writing. Writing, creativity is also work, and you got to spend time on it. It's not that creativity will come by itself, a flash will come and suddenly you get a flash of a creative idea. It's not like that. Most of the time, it's that we have to sit down and think and develop various alternatives. Therefore, the deadlines and these things are always going to be there, but you have to be realistic about it. Okay, next.
Nikita?
Yes, 1 minute. Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Nikita.
So I do agree with Sir that unrealistic deadlines do hinder creativity, but I don't necessarily think that deadlines self destroy creativity. As in, I think coming up with new innovative ideas within the time frame can also be counted as creativity. If you can come up with something new within the deadline, that's really good. And plus, it's more like how you prioritize things, and that's based on how you plan things. If you know that, okay, this is the deadline, you have this time frame, you know what to prioritize on and when to prioritize on, that's essentially will bring up your creativity. If you know, okay, this is what I need to prioritize on, you will know that you have to come up with creative ideas based on your priority. So it's not essentially required that deadlines do destroy your creativity, but unrealistic deadlines do destroy your creativity, is what I would like to say.
So I'm
It's
going
good
to throw
again.
a
I would.
curveball. Sir, just a second, sir. I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm going to throw a curveball. What do you consider unrealistic?
I would like to share a personal anecdote.
Yeah.
I am a law student, and we often come up with, we're asked to participate in moot court competitions and such competitions where there's intensive research involved. And when we have research involved, we need time. So if you just give us 20 days or 1 month, it's not enough for us to finish our research and then draft a memorial. It's very difficult for us to do. So I think that is unrealistic, but unrealistic deadlines, again, they differ according to the job that you're into or whatever task you're performing.
One moment. నా ఫోన్ లో ఉంది.
Sir, what do you think is unrealistic this deadline? And I want everybody else also to say what you consider unrealistic deadlines according to them.
Just give me a minute. I'll tell you what unrealistic deadlines are.
Okay, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Who's going to go next? I want everybody to have their put in their 2 cents in.
Yeah, ma'am, I'll go on. As a student studying BTech, for every semester there is 6 months of deadlines. But nowadays, our university is dropping that time
3717.
into 4.5 months and 5 months. In that time, our teachers were lacking of telling us 2 units. They were not telling us, and whole burden is on us at the last moment of exams. Ma'am, there we need if 6 months of exams for particular 5 units and labs, they must provide us 6 months. But if they are reducing the time to 4.5 to 5 months, there we are losing our units. The teachers are not telling two or 1.5 units to us. And
Okay. Can I answer that? What is the unrealistic deadline?
Of course, sir.
Yeah,
The
you
floor
see,
is yours.
the unrealistic deadline depends on the assignment to assignment and the creative thing that you're asked to work on. Sometimes something takes a month, sometimes it takes a week, sometimes it takes 2 months. So it depends on the assignment that you have been asked to do. So the unrealistic, and also there are some people, and you must be sure about what you can do. One of the most creative thing that you can think of is filmmaking. There are some filmmakers who take years to make a film, really good ones. And there are some people who make a film in a couple of months. Like you got this Ram Gopal Verma who churns out a movie, in a month he makes a whole movie. And there are some people who take 3 years to make a movie. I mean, these creative things, it depends on the person, depends on the assignment. But we are all talking about the corporate world. And most of you are going to work in the corporate world. And therefore, you must be able to judge how long it will take for you and negotiate that with your boss. And if you keep asking for more and more time, or your assignments are taking too long, I'm quite sure you'll fall out of favor with the boss.
I'm
You've got to
sure.
be reasonable in this.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So who's going to go next? I want everybody's 2 cents in. I want everybody to give their opinion on it. What, according to them, is unreasonable deadlines? Don't make me call everybody, man. Harshita went first. Who's there? Vaishnavi, you can go. Ravalya, Tanya, Himaja, Ranjana. We have another 25 minutes.
According to
Yeah?
me, an unrealistic deadline is like completing a very complex task in a very less amount of time. Uh, Actually, due to some busy schedule, our HOD ma'am forgot to assign our work. So the next day is the external, and she gave us 1 day to complete our whole project book and make a report on it. So it's too unrealistic. At that time, we took our senior books and made some small corrections and submitted that. So there should be some certain amount of time to complete things.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay.
What you did was it didn't help you at all. If you take your serious assignments and make some small changes and give it, it doesn't help you. It helps you pass the exam and get a degree or a certificate, but it really doesn't help you learn.
Yes, sir. But due to 1 day submission, we did it.
Yes. So the teacher was being very unrealistic. It's unhelpful to do those kind of assignments.
That quietly happened to me also, sir.
Who's going to go next? Himaja, Ravalya, Nikita, Ranjana.
Speak from your personal experience, rather than just give an opinion about it. Speak from your personal experience. I really like the way some of you have come out with the personal experiences. Of course, the most interesting experience was I forget the lady's name, but who talked about the central government report.
Ranjana, would you like to go? No, I think, okay, yeah, please.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, the challenges which I faced in my field during my field condition, actually, I have to work. I have to treat the animals. I have to send the daily progress report as well as weekly, monthly, yearly. So sometimes we are pressurized so much that we have to send the daily report by 5 o'clock. But priority is always for us to treat the animals, because the animals who are in serious conditions, sometimes there are outbreaks. So the higher officers, they don't understand, and so I think that it depends on the conditions, and it depends on the priority also. So during that scenario, I always think that the treatment of the animals is first. So deadlines, when they fix for us daily to send the reports by 5 o'clock, it is not possible sometimes. So I think in every scenario, it should not be considered.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like I said, you must always negotiate the time with your boss. But sometimes some bosses are very unreasonable, especially sometimes in government jobs. They tend to be unreasonable. They tend to get pressured by
Yes,
people above.
sir. During after pandemic, I have seen that we have to send the daily reports. Otherwise, earlier it was we have to send the weekly or quarterly and monthly reports. Now there are so many central and state government schemes, programs, and policies are running that we have to send some reports on daily basis. We don't get the time because our work is like that. In Himachal, as per geographical conditions, we have to treat the animal at the doorstep also. So we don't get the time to send the reports within that particular period. So deadlines are fixed that we have to submit some reports on daily basis by 5 p.m. So
If that is
we don't send the
unrealistic,
report,
I think you should negotiate with your boss, number one. Number two, you should pressurize the boss to negotiate with his boss also. And, up the chain, you're going to put the pressure to negotiate reasonable deadlines. You have to put pressure. You have to tell your boss, please negotiate with your own boss and, get me more time.
Actually, sir, it depends on, because we have in Himachal we have 450 veterinarians throughout the state, and it depends on in which geographical conditions you are working. Some officers, they are daily, they send the reports. So our higher officers, if they are sending, why you are not sending? We have to further it to central government also. Some reports they are to be sent daily to central government also, like vaccine and all these. So sometimes it seems very difficult.
Yeah, you see, one of the suggestions that I could think of is use technology to the extent possible, digitization as to the extent possible. I don't know how much digitization is there or how much is possible in your area of work, but digitization actually speeds up a lot of work.
Our state government is working on it, because in some network issue is there, and farmers are not very much aware about this, and staff is not very much aware about this technology. So our state government is working on it, digitizations.
Yeah. If some of your staff are not familiar with digitization, I think some training, a little bit of training, it can be done.
Yes, trainings are needed.
Very interesting to talk to you. Can I have your name, please?
Ranjana Sood.
You're from Himachal Pradesh. Are you in Simla at the
Yes, I am
moment?
from Palampur.
Palampur, is it? Okay. Okay, who goes next?
Girls, don't make me call out names, man. You're not your small children. Come, who's going to go next? Okay, Ravalya, Tanya, Nikita.
Yes, ma'am. What was the question? Sorry.
I said, what do you consider in a personal view is a unrealistic deadline?
I think an unrealistic deadline would be,
No,
let's say, for a
I don't want you to say it as a general thing. As sir said, give your personal example.
a personal example. Just a
Yeah. Sir said, always remember it gives authenticity to your work if you use personal examples.
Right. I would say a personal example would be right. So an unrealistic deadline would be when in university, my professor would like up and about just suddenly announce that there is like an internal assessment 2 days from now, for which you need to partner up with another individual and collaborate on ideas with, let's say, in a 2-day frame for a complex assignment, as someone mentioned earlier. That would be an unrealistic deadline, because there's a lot of thought that should go into a certain task, which is not being like efficiently done, because the time given to complete the task is not reasonable at all. So yeah, that would be like an unrealistic deadline that I have personally dealt with. But at the end of the day, we were graded well. So I would also say that deadlines don't exactly kill creativity per se. That's a strong word. It does hinder it, but with the given deadline, the output that we could have, like we did like give out, wasn't totally how do I put it, conventional either. Like the output was a tad bit creative, I would say, because it required like creative aspects for your project to stand out and be graded well. So yeah, like it's a pretty ambiguous question.
I think quite a lot of you are students, and therefore I must give you a bit of advice as a 68-year-old man, retired person. I must give you some advice. A lot of students chase certificates, marks, grades. I think marks and grades may be the first job you might be able to get because of your marks or because of your grades. Even that, I'm not so sure. But say 1 year, 2 years after that, nobody will ask you what your grades are. They will ask you what you know, what skill set you have, how good they interview you and see how good you are at the subject that you've taken up. So therefore, please chase knowledge, skills, not just marks.
What is your opinion, all of you, on that, students? Sir is saying, look at knowledge.
Yes,
Yes.
sir, I absolutely agree. But if when grades and let's say certificates, like when they are like kind of play a crucial role for your future, you tend to give them priority. But I absolutely agree. Knowledge is definitely the end goal.
Okay. So who's going to go next?
Yes, sir, I
Can I?
totally agree with you because uh, the people nowadays are using ChatGPT or they are mugging up things and gaining marks. But when you go into the company, the main thing you need is knowledge. Without knowledge, if you have 95%, it's not used. Or if you have hundreds of certifications done and if you don't have knowledge, what they actually teach during the certification program, it's useless.
In
Who's
fact,
going to
one of
go
the biggest
next?
problems
Yes, sir,
we have in the country is that we have a lot of people who hold degrees and certificates, but they don't have the skills or the knowledge to do a particular job. And our universities and colleges are turning out to be bulk certificate issuing agencies. I think this is very important that you acquire the skills and knowledge. There's no point in meeting a deadline, copying from seniors' notes, or using Chat GPT. All these won't help you one bit. Once you start your career, once you have 1 year, 2 years into your career, none of these will help.
Who's going to go next? We have another 15 minutes. Who's speaking? Harshita, please.
Would just like to add on to what Sir said, how knowledge is more important than grades and certificates. I completely agree with that. But it's not that students don't want to focus on knowledge and building up their general knowledge or such. It's just that the education system, as it is, it's forcing students to focus more on gradings and certificates because that is what people actually look for at the end. They ask how are you graded here, and what is the reason that your marks are so less here. At the end, that is what they ask. It's not that knowledge is not important. It is. Students know that knowledge is important, but at the same time, they also know that grades are important. It's just that they are just forced to prioritize grades.
I don't know how many of you have seen the movie Three Idiots. I think you should see it. Tell me how many of you have seen the movie Three Idiots?
I have not seen the.
How many of you seen the movie Three Idiots?
Sir, I think a little older people have seen it, but I don't know how many these
Younger
days.
people, it's available on one of those OTP apps. So I think one should see. It's a very nice movie. It's written by a IIT IIM graduate. The story is written by IIT IIM graduate. And he talks about the same issue about people having certificates without knowledge. It's a very nice movie.
Okay.
You should see it.
Yes, sir. I mean, I enjoyed it thoroughly, so I will truly recommend it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Harshita, would you go next? Is knowledge more important or certificate? Harshita,
So
you're
I'll just give my 2 cents about this whole deadline thing, Kanti.
yes,
So
yes.
I don't know about deadlines killing creativity, but for me specifically, my personal experience is that work gets done if you have a deadline. And I'm not talking about anybody else. I myself work only towards deadlines. So, because we have so much of work day in and day out, I look at a deadline and I only then I start working because I have to finish it before the deadline. So sometimes I suppose it helps us to keep going in this world where we are burdened with so much of work, and or maybe we take it upon ourselves sometimes, or external forces put us under so much of pressure. And I have seen that some of the best work that we have done, it works well, I mean, under a deadline. So according to me, I mean, nothing will move, nothing can happen without deadlines. And Kanti will agree with me, I suppose.
Yeah, we've been working on tight deadlines so many times. Both of us have, like, we have both have our homes to take care, and I also have work to take care. And I have both Meera and I've started work at 6 in the morning. We've times we've worked till 11 in the night when we have a deadline to meet. So yeah, they're here. I have to thank our families, though it's not the place. I have to, here the situation has come, I have to thank. They put up with our unreasonable hours during deadlines. Okay, so who's going to go next? Ravalya, Vaishnavi, Harshita. Okay, Harshita seems to have gone.
Ma'am, can I speak, ma'am?
Yes, please. Ravalya.
With my pa- with my parents didn't accept me to join in degree, ma'am. To join in degree, we want to apply college application, ma'am. Without application, we won't got any seats, ma'am. So that it it took it took lot of time, ma'am. So that I didn't get seat in seat in college, ma'am. So I have got management seat. So that deadline is limited. So we want to apply in limited time, ma'am. That is my unrealistic.
Okay. Anyway, I think there was enough, but it took you time to convince your parents. So that way it was unrealistic.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, okay. Who's going to go next? About knowledge and Ranjana, what do you say? You've been working for so long. Do you think your certificates and degrees helped you or your knowledge helped you?
When both things are needed. Without certifications, without grading, nothing is possible in present scenario. Knowledge is must, but without certifications, nothing is possible.
Okay.
Yeah, that's very important, especially people have got to sit through anyone recruiting, say the government is recruiting or a private company is recruiting. They have to eliminate some of the, they have to have some criteria. Otherwise, they'll just get thousands of applications. So you say that you have a degree in this particular subject. You must have this certification. That's important. Otherwise, without that, you cannot make it to the initial interview itself. But after that, what happens, what becomes important is knowledge. Therefore, have your certification. By all means, have as many certifications as you want, as you can. But at the same time, don't neglect knowledge. Don't have empty certificates.
Yes, sir. During recruitment, if I talk about our state government, during recruitment, they always focus on the grading and but we how many marks and how many percentage we have achieved during degree. Only on that basis the recruitment is done. Knowledge, so sir, uske baad it comes very later on when we work in field conditions.
Yeah, you see, I think the government and private sector are slightly different. In a government job, it's
Yes,
a secure
yes, the
job.
government jobs and yeah.
And a government is a secure job. Once you get in with the certificate, with the grades and all that, and then you have a government job, and then probably promotions and increments are by seniority. That's different. But in the private company, if you don't have knowledge, if you have a certificate, soon you'll be out of a job, I can tell you.
Yes, sir.
Who's going to go? We have another 6 minutes, man. Don't tell me you can't speak for 6 more minutes. Vaishnavi, what do you think? Knowledge important or certificates?
Ma'am, I already shared my answer.
I know you shared, but you have anything more to share on that topic?
Yes, ma'am. We need to do certifications. According to me, doing courses and certifications and gaining knowledge is most important. Just blindly doing, turning on the videos and skipping the videos doesn't matter. Will not give importance or credit to your certificate. We need to learn through it.
Yes, very good. Thank you. Ravalya, Himaja, which is more important, knowledge or certificates?
According to me, knowledge is more important than certificates, ma'am. Without knowledge, we cannot work with anything which allotted to us. So knowledge is important than certificates. But without certificate, we can't get jobs, ma'am. Both are important. That's
Good,
it, ma'am.
Ravalya. That's very nice to hear, Ravalya. Thank you. Himaja?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Knowledge is important to work anything, to know about any matter. First of all, knowledge is very important, and at the same time, certification is also very important. So without basic certificate, we can't get any job. So certificates is very important, and at the same time, knowledge is also very important. To apply any situation, to face any situation, knowledge is important.
Good.
Both are very important.
Sir, what do you have to say on that, sir?
Yeah, like I said, I think we all agree that certificate is a basic requirement without which you can't proceed. But once you have a certificate, you must also have knowledge, especially in the private sector. You need to be skillful and knowledgeable. Otherwise, it's not, no job is secure in the private sector.
Yes.
I just wanted to finish off by giving you something with a little bit of a digression. One of the very important lessons that I learned in life is that prepone pain. If you have got two jobs to do, one is a pleasant one is an unpleasant one, do the unpleasant one first. Research has shown that suppose a student, the kids, they have homework to complete and they have got a movie to watch. They want to do these two things. The kids who complete the homework first and watch the movie tend to be more successful in life than those who watch the movie and then do the homework. And also in your working life, you will find that there are a lot of things that and every job comes with its own pains. There's a pain points in every job. It's not that everything is hunky-dory. Any job is all pleasure. So therefore, one of the things, if you have got to fire an employee, or you've got to tell your boss that you have lost an important client or whatever, do that first and then do the interesting things later. Because once you come, otherwise you won't enjoy the interesting things also, because at the back of your mind there is this, I have to tell my boss, I've got to that I've lost a client, that order is delayed or whatever. Therefore, I always found that it's a very important discipline in life. This I learned from Scott Peck's book, The Road Less Traveled. Is there in that book, some of the disciplines that are required to get through life. And one of the most important disciplines is that you must do the hard things first, the unpleasant things first.
Yes,
Then it
sir.
won't weigh
Thank
on
you.
your mind. Otherwise, you won't be able to enjoy the interesting things also.
Good, sir. Lovely, sir. Lovely to have you with us. And I hope each and every one of you have taken something more interesting. I have learned quite a lot of stuff, and I hope I've learned how everybody thinks and also learned new interesting things. And so hope to see you again next week, all of you. And we'll have this again next week with a more fun topic, hopefully, and more different topic. And something, so next week we'll do it slightly different. As soon as we post the topic, I want each of you to take a stand. I want some of you for the subject and some of you against the subject. And I want you to prepare your argument based on that. I'm giving you ample time because we'll post the subject on Monday. And by Friday, I would expect you to have a beautiful, beautiful argument ready. You can use your AI tools to help you, but I want each and every one of you to use your brains, to use your creativity, to use your personality to craft your argument. And Nikita and Tanya, I would expect amazing things from you. You're budding lawyers, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And
Yes, ma'am.
so I would expect amazing stuff from you. This is the forum you can try your argumentative skills, your creative thinking. Okay? Everyone, whoever is going to come next week, I want each of you to do your best, be prepared, and we'll have a fun event next week. Okay?
I just want to add one more thing to what you said. It's good to prepare arguments and come prepared. One of the things is that, videos, etc., are being sent on the subject. If that can be done a day earlier or a couple of days earlier, please go through those videos. I've gone through the 50-minute video that was sent to me. It was always interesting. It's always good preparation. And second thing I want to say is that prepare your arguments, but at the same time, add as many personal anecdotes as possible, a personal experience as possible.
Yes. So, sir, usually I sent it to you today, but usually these resources are shared with the students on Monday or maximum by Tuesday.
Yes.
I should have done it earlier. I will do that the next time. I will not do the same thing. I will share it earlier.
Okay, I just wanted to tell you that next week I'll not be available. I'm going to Singapore.
Okay, sir. I think I will
I'm
ask.
always available. You want me in a moderator? You can't find a moderator? I'm there always, default.
Thank you so much for that, sir. I know you've been somebody we've been able to depend on regularly. So next week I'll ask, because next week even I'm traveling, so I will not also be there. I will ask either Vineet or Mr. Amarnath. I will ask whoever will take, and we will do it. Yes. Thank you so much, everybody. It
You're
was a very
welcome.
interesting session. And let's hope everybody had some wonderful takeaways. Thank you.